Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Injured Gadgets iPhone 7 Plus Touchscreen Digitizer and LCD Repair and Replacement Guide. First thing you want to do if you haven't already done so is go ahead and power off your iPhone 7 Plus. Definitely always want to make sure that's turned off, and then as soon as you get it open the battery gets disconnected, just so you don't blow any IC chips or anything like that. Alright, next using your 00 Pentaloop screwdriver, which we carry on our website, go ahead and remove the two screws at the bottom of the iPhone 7 Plus. Alright, for this part I've gone ahead and sped it up 3 speed. For the front assembly, you are going to want to go ahead and heat it up with a heat gun if you haven't already used a heat gun or a heating mat, because there is a strong layer of adhesive holding down the glass to the frame. Once you have enough heat kind of between the glass and the adhesive, go ahead and use an iSesamo, iFlex, we carry them built on our website, to just kind of lift off the LCD from the housing. Once again, if your assembly turns on during the repair, make sure to just turn it right back off. You do not want it on while you're disconnecting cables. Alright, with that open, we're now going to use our iPhone 7 triangle screwdriver. Apple decided to add a brand new screw, never before used in any of the iPhones before this, and we carry this triangle screwdriver on our website. You're going to go ahead and want to remove the 4 screws holding in this bracket. Just let me zoom in on that for you guys. The 4 screws holding in this bracket, and then remove the bracket. Very similar to the iPhone 7 actually. Alright, with the bracket gone ahead and removed, we are going to go ahead and disconnect the flex cables. I made a slight mistake here. That's not the battery flex cable. You want to disconnect the one right below it. It's the one going right to left, but I will disconnect that a little bit later. And then these two flex cables I'm disconnecting are the digitizer and the LCD. So you want to go ahead and disconnect all those flex cables so that there is no power going to the board. Alright, now you're going to go ahead and remove the screws holding in this top bracket that holds in your front camera and proximity sensor flex cable. Go ahead and use your triangle screwdriver once again, remove those 3 screws, and then you can go ahead and remove that bracket from that. Once that's done, you can go ahead and separate the assembly from the back housing of the phone as shown right here. And of course, make sure to disconnect this flex cable right here that actually holds your front camera flex in. Alright, so I've sped this up 4 speed actually. There's a few things you want to do here. The first thing we're going to do is use our triangle screwdriver and remove the bracket holding in your front camera flex, your ear speaker, your proximity sensor. They're all kind of attached to one. So we'll remove those 5 screws and that bracket, put that bracket to the side, remove your ear speaker, and please note to be very careful right here because you will need to use a heat gun or a heat mat to heat up the front glass to be able to get this front camera flex off. It is stuck with quite a bit of adhesive and it was on there pretty tight. It took us a few tries with our heat gun to get enough heat to actually loosen up that adhesive. So this flex cable actually is your front camera, your proximity sensor, and then it also has the little gold pins. You'll see those 4 gold pins that actually makes your ear speaker work, that transmits the energy for your ear speaker. Alright, so that's pretty much what that flex cable is. We do carry it in case you do mess it up. Next thing you want to do is remove the 4 screws holding in your home button flex and touch ID sensor, and then of course disconnect that flex cable on the right hand side. I cannot stress how important it is to not tear that flex cable right here. So you want to heat up the front of the glass, just loosen up the adhesive holding in your home button flex cable. Please note if you do tear that flex cable, your home button or your touch ID will ever work again. So be very careful with it. Now we're going to use our triangle screwdriver once again and remove the 3 screws on the side of the frame. And once those 3 screws are removed, plus there's one on the bottom left. You'll see it right here. I'm not really pointing to it, but it is on the bottom left. And you want to remove all 7 of those screws essentially to get this frame off. Please note your LCD flex cable is kind of still stuck. So you might want to use a heat gun to heat that up a little bit. And then you'll be able to remove that from the little metal plate right there as shown right here. and on to the next step. Alright, so with that shield removed, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple of things on the back of this. And well, I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the entire thing as well. So when reinstalling it, make sure that the flex cable is actually covered up by the shield, as seen right here. And next, using your Phillips screwdriver, we're pretty much going to go in the exact reverse way of how we took it apart. So we're going to put that bottom screw in, and then the 3 screws on each side of the frame using our triangle screwdriver. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put the front camera proximity sensor flex back in. This is probably the most difficult part. I'm going to speed this up just 2 times speed just so you guys can watch it. And it's a little bit more clear. I don't want to go too fast. Actually, I might keep some parts at normal speed. So there's a couple of holes, as you can see right here where the ear speaker kind of touches. There's holes that line up, so you'll want to put that in first. And then after that, once that's kind of stuck properly, we want to go ahead and put down the proximity sensor flex. You'll want to bend that right side so it kind of snaps into the bracket. Now, a lot of aftermarket screens don't have these brackets. So if you're not buying from a quality supplier, it's not going to have it. The ones at enginegadgets.com always do, so it depends on what you want to buy. If you want to not have your front camera proximity sensor in properly, buy it from somewhere else, but we can always guarantee we'll have them. Alright, so then you're going to go ahead and put your ear speaker and place it like that, and then your front camera, and that kind of just goes right on top of the ear speaker and places there. With those in place, go ahead and grab that metal bracket, place that on top, and then we're going to just go ahead and screw that back in with the, there's actually 4 screws holding that bracket in, plus a 5th screw that holds that metal shield on the back of the LCD assembly in. Alright, now I'm going to speed this part up a little bit. Now let's go ahead and grab our home button flex, bring it in from the front. Obviously there's a screen protector there, and just pull that up to be able to pull it through the front. So we're going to go ahead and grab that home button flex, pull it through the front, and then we're going to just lay it down and snap it into the flex connector, as you'll see right here. Once again, there are little brackets that kind of hold it in place, so make sure it lines up properly and snap it into that flex connector. Next, take that home button bracket and the 4 screws and go ahead and screw those in. We're going to speed this part up a little bit. Alright, now we're in the final stretch pretty much. We're going to go ahead and reconnect our whole assembly that we have connected the home button, the proximity sensor, the front camera, the ear speaker, back to our assembly. Go ahead and plug in your Digitizer and LCD Flex. Don't plug in the battery connector just yet. Always do that last after you have connected everything. So we're going to go ahead and plug in that Digitizer LCD Flex cables right there. And then our front camera is actually already plugged in at the top. I guess I didn't show that, but the front camera is plugged in already at the top. And now we're going to go ahead and place the brackets down and screw those in. I have sped this up 5 times speed, it's just screwing stuff in. So at the very top, those are all Phillips screws, 00 Phillips. We're going to go ahead and use our 00 Phillips screwdriver again and screw those in with that bracket. And that's for the front camera, ear speaker, proximity sensor flex. After that is, sorry, that was not with the Phillips, that was with a triangle screwdriver. And then we're going to use our triangle screwdriver again to screw in the screws on this bracket, which is 4 additional screws right here. And so once those are screwed in, then we can go ahead and put the assembly back into the frame housing of your iPhone 7 Plus. Alright, so go from the top to bottom, in my opinion. Go slowly down each side, kind of left to right, back and forth. You don't want to just slam one side down, because you could risk cracking the screen again. So take your time doing this portion right here, because if you speed up or if you don't get it in there in the exact way it's supposed to, you could easily crack the screen again. Alright, let's go ahead and power on our phone and screw in the bottom 2 pentalobe screws into the device. Once the device is booted up, you want to just obviously test all the functions out. The home button is probably the most important one, because if you messed up somewhere, the home button's not going to work. So we test out touchscreen, the home button. You want to test out your front camera, your proximity sensor, make a phone call or two, just to see that everything's working. And if it is, then you have successfully completed your repair of the iPhone 7 Plus. As always, feel free to check us out on our website, injuredgets.com, like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, and always subscribe. We always appreciate it. So thank you guys very much for watching, and we hope you subscribe. Have a great day. injuredgadgets.com.